This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot, toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yeah, I'm going to steal that one this time. I am your host of Can Crusher Spotlight, Mark Martinez, and I got the biggest smile on my face today. I really do. I'm so excited to finally get this interview done here on Can Crushers. It's with the American Bombshell, Dani Grey. We have been texting back and forth about setting this one up, and it's finally up and it's ready to go. Dani is young into the wrestling business. She has traveled and done some stuff. She's trained at IWC, but we'll get into all that at the interview, during the interview. Yeah, I'm giddy today. I really am, folks. Dani is somebody that I reach out to for inspiration. She's on Facebook, and she's just a happy person. She is transformed. It's the story that's going to come out, guys. You don't understand. I want to leave a little bit of teaser like that. I really do. I want to get into it so you can hear it when I tell Dani for the first time what she means to me. And it's just, I'm excited. I'm excited to have the American Bombshell, Dani Grey, on the show. And you might as well just get right into the interview because you'll hear it. You'll hear it real soon. Man, Dani, thank you for coming on Can Crushers. Thank you for everything you do. But right now we're going to go over to Al Snow from Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool wrestling apparel that he has. Guys, and you can get a 10% discount from your complete order when you use the code CANCRUSHERS. All one word, capital C in can, capital C in crusher, and you'll save 10%. Right after you hear from Al, we'll have Dani Grey on the phone, and man, she's going to inspire you too.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Welcome back to Can Crusher Spotlight. Guys, you heard in the opening how excited I was to finally get our schedules on the same page, to have the American Bombshell, Dani Grey, join us on Can Crushers. Yay! Here in the background. That's probably the best way to do it then. I was going to give you so much more, but I'm just happy you're finally here. Dani, how are you?
I'm great, and thank you for having me.
No problem. We've had a hell of a schedule connecting from weather to COVID to everything that we finally got this going. Dani, let me first off and say this as Mark, stepping away from Can Crushers. Your Sunday inspirations on Facebook have gotten me through so much. I love your voice. I love you. Just the good word that you spread gets me through weeks. So that's number one in my book. The rest of wrestling we can cover, but thank you as a human being to a human being, because You do so much. You're always positive.
I honestly appreciate hearing that so much because that's my main goal is just post. I use social media as a tool, but posting on there, my goal is to inspire maybe one person. If my post can inspire one person when I post it, then I've done my job for the day. So hearing you say that, just like I have the biggest smile on my face right now.
It's true. You dancing, you know, fighting the kids, and we'll get to that. All of this because you're very open with your life, but you really tackle Sundays, and you know, we kind of stay away from the religion part of this, but you're completely open to it. We don't jump in with other people, but it just means so much because Sundays was go to grandma's, have lunch, you know, say our prayers and everything over there. It was just the family, and it's breaking away in life. And I've taken you on to, if I don't watch those on Sunday or watch you, I'm like out of kilter, more or less.
Yeah, and my life was the same way growing up. Everything's about my family. And, you know, my kids are the biggest and most important part of my life and my motivation. So that's very important to me.
So let's talk about the kids, if you don't mind. We see posts that prior to me hitting the record button, you said you let them win sometime. I don't think you let them win. Like they tag team you and beat your ass down once in a while.
I mean, they definitely, I feel like they teach me as much as I teach them. So
right?
I definitely let them win, you know, it's just like, I do. I definitely take things from whatever we're doing and like use it in my life too. So
they're huge fans of you, of course, but do they watch other wrestling as well? The WWE, AEW. I'm sure that. I mean, they know Britt and everything. Come on.
So they definitely watch wrestling, but I will say, like throughout their entire life, they're just like. I mean, I think all kids go through phases of what they like and what they don't like. So it's really awesome when they're into it because they go through a phase. They'll like it for a couple months, then they'll fall off, and then they'll like it again. So when they're in it, it's like the best for me too, because then we're all in it together and like they're watching every week and we do watch AEW more than anything else. And that's just because that we have friends that are on that. And we go back and forth with WWE. It was a lot more fun when you could go to events, but you know, that's not happening right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future too. All right, let's do the rewind now, and we'll just get you all the way caught up because you also have an amazing like transformation story, and that's kind of where I want to start. Where you've just completely changed your life, and you were Miss Fitness, you were Miss Everything, and let's start with that. How did this all come about to get you into wrestling?
So my fitness journey actually started in about 2014, 2015. I lost a decent amount of weight. I want to say almost 60 pounds by myself. And that was just working out from home. And I was just kind of like miserable with how I felt waking up every morning. I knew I wasn't healthy and I had to get my shit together for the kids. So that's what started it all. And then I actually applied for a program. It was called 60-Day Revolution. And it was with BPI Sports and Muscle and Fitness Magazine. They picked 3 people out of the entire United States, and I was actually one of those 3 people that got to be personally trained by James Grey, who at the time was the co-owner of BPI. He now owns Undersun Fitness, which is a band company. But he actually trained me for those 60 days. And I was, at that point, I hit a plateau where I wasn't losing any more weight. And he completely changed my life. Like not only with my physical appearance, but mentally, he taught me like it was a lifestyle that you couldn't just hop into it, you know, and pick it up one day and not be consistent the next day. And he's really kind of like my mentor for all of the fitness stuff that I did. And it's so crazy because the fitness, like industry just relates so much to wrestling. There's so many people that are intertwined with both that wrestling was like the next stepping stone for me, because after I was done and I lost the weight and I was looking good and feeling healthy, it's like, okay, well, what do I do next? And wrestling was a way that brought me back to, I used to play sports all throughout high school. I played soccer, I played softball, and I actually wrestled a year in high school as well. I was the only girl on the team.
Nice.
So that was like, it brought me back. I knew like I could be athletic again. And then it was also a way where I actually went to college for a year before I had my son, and I was majoring in music theater. So I was real into the acting and singing and doing all of that as well. And wrestling literally brought everything that I wanted to do all together.
Yeah, you were a legit band nerd sports freak. and I mean that lovingly.
It was so crazy. I was.
Look at Elias. I mean, we know him that he is the same way, that he loves music, but he's a performer. And I hate saying that as wrestlers because yeah, you are performing for us, but you're athletes. I hate that it's fake and stuff like that. We're not there. Yeah, you're performing to a point, but you're athletic. Wrestling loops all of that together. I couldn't sing. That's why I wasn't a wrestler. I couldn't sing. No, I'm kidding. So the love of wrestling, where did that come from then? Mom, dad, Uncle Joe, anybody like that?
Yeah, my dad definitely grew up watching wrestling. I mean, he had it on the TV when I was young, like my whole life. So it was like the Hulk Hogan into the Rock phase, Stone Cold. I watched all of that with my dad. Nice. But actually, like deciding to wrestle, I took the boys to Royal Rumble, and that was in 2018. It was in Philadelphia.
So jealous.
And I was sitting there, and I'm like, wait a second, I could totally do this. And that's like the moment that I just decided to wrestle. I came home and I just searched like places in Pittsburgh that, you could go to school for wrestling and train for wrestling. And that's when I found IWC.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. So, just to pump up IWC because we love it so much, why did you pick IWC? Because Pittsburgh's a mecca center.
Because they had the most successful rate of people that went and followed their dreams and did what they wanted to do with wrestling. That's why I picked IWC.
Yeah, smart pick. Smart pick. And you started with IWC after going through training, and you can give some props to your trainers here in a second. But you started backstage, you did some lighting, you kind of were just like lingering around until you made a big splash at the reset button. But was there ever a time in training when you're like, oh, this is tough, losing the weight and getting fitness-wise was easy, but now I'm taking some bumps. Did you ever say, I'm out?
Honestly, no. I loved it. I'm not afraid of hard work. So, and that's exactly what wrestling training is. And I loved every minute of being there.
You're a little crazy too,
just a little bit.
Yeah, you're a little crazy too to take some of the bumps that you do. So yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So do you want to throw out some of your trainers? Because we personally know them, but we always love for people just getting, to hear about Dani Grey. Your trainers should get props too, because without them, there's no Dani Grey.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris LaRusso is my trainer. He was my one and only trainer for wrestling. And he's done so much more than just teach me how to wrestle. He's taught me all about the business, and I call him my wrestling dad. So I appreciate him very much.
We try to say Chris LaRusso's name as much as we can on Can Crushers podcast because we love him, but for some reason, he genuinely hates me. He's all right with John, he's all right with Chad, but he genuinely hates me for a reason. And I'm the one always trying to put him over. I don't know why. So you had your first match and you ended up breaking your arm. Is that correct? How did that all go about?
Yeah, so May 2019 was my debut with IWC. It was a tag match, and I actually broke my right wrist in that match. I I waited like 2 weeks to even go see a doctor. It was swollen, but I was just hoping that nothing was actually wrong with it. So kind of like waited, and then I went to the doctor, and he took one look at it, took an x-ray, and was like, yep, it's broken. So that actually put me out for, I think it was 2 months.
Yeah.
Because I know I was booked again. That happened in the end of May, and I was booked again in August. And I just tried to come back too quick. I wasn't ready. And the wrist not only needed like therapy to heal better, but I hopped back in too quick. So
I was just going to ask, like, we haven't seen you in IWC for a while. COVID has hurt a lot of it as well, but you popped up in Flawless Wrestling a few times. Are you training to come back to IWC, or have you parted ways with IWC? What's going on altogether?
So when I figured out that I came back too quick, which was like the end of 2019, I honestly just decided to take some time off. There was a lot of personal things happening in my life at that time as well. So I kind of just said, hey, let's put wrestling aside and, I still have the kids are my first priority no matter what. And then, my full-time job and all of that stuff. And it was all just piling up on me at the time. So I put wrestling to the side. I took an entire year off before I took bookings again. And Flawless Wrestling was the first booking I took, which was October 2020. And that was the first match back since I had taken all the time off. I never stopped training in ring. I was still going to training like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis all throughout 2020. It's just, I wasn't sure if I was ready to come back, but then when Flawless asked me to do that, I was like, okay, whether I'm ready or not, I'm going to this, and this is going to be my first match back. So you never know. You never are going to feel ready. You just got to jump in and get back into it. Wrestling isn't something you can ease back into. You just do it. So
was the nerves there making the trek down to what was in Tennessee this time, right?
Yeah, honestly, I took that road trip with Danny Moe, and I was excited more than anything. I was just so excited to be back into it because I love wrestling, and I'm very passionate about it. And being in the ring, I feel like I belong there. So I was more excited than anything else. The nerves were there about 5 minutes before I was about to go on. But other than that, it was just excitement.
Nice. What a great trip down to Tennessee. We went to Tennessee, then it went into, Kentucky, and then we went to Tennessee. But it's a nice ride. It's a long ride, but it's a nice ride.
Yeah, and it was so funny because I took the boys, my boys there. We went to the Smoky Mountains twice this summer, like that summer before that happened, 2020. And we just went to go to the mountains to vacation, like to get away for a weekend. And it is a really nice drive down there. We do you could go there a million times and do something different every single time you're there. Like the first time me and them went, the main reason we went was to go to Ripley's Aquarium because my son is obsessed with turtles and sea life and all of that. And that aquarium is, if you're in the area, it's definitely something to go see. It's really awesome. So we did that, and then the last time that we went horseback riding in the Smokies, and that was also probably a bucket list thing for me. So
I saw those pictures, and I was kind of jealous. I've been on a horse once in my life, but to be riding through the Smokies, I'm like, oh, man, I get so jealous of Dani because she's here, she's there, and I'm like, I'm going to stop following her on social media because I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm living one day at a time. I'm trying to be in the moment. And I used to have anxiety and worry a lot about things that are, going to happen or could happen. And that kind of went away within the last 2 years here. I've kind of just meditated and, with my faith and everything, I really found just kind of like a happiness of living in the moment. So I try to do as much as possible. And if I can't that day, then I can't. But I love traveling and I love taking the boys wherever they want to go. We just discovered fishing last summer. So fishing's a big thing for us now. I'm not going to brag, but I feel like I'm like a professional fisherman at this point. So this summer I have a lot to look forward to. Other than wrestling, I'm definitely going to be fishing.
All of a sudden, you want a sponsorship from Bassmasters now.
Exactly. I'm doing what I can.
That's awesome. Let's rewind back to wrestling. So you were watching it with Dad. Favorites, and I hate to say this, but you're a Lita, right? You have to be a Lita fan.
So it's so crazy because people actually tell me that I look like her.
A lot, yeah.
So a lot, yeah. That's probably the most consistent thing that I get in my DMs is saying that I look like her. So I'm definitely a fan. It's crazy because like my actual the people that I looked up to for wrestling, it's definitely Dwayne Johnson. It's The Rock, and I think it's mostly not just from wrestling, but because he does so much more than wrestling, which is what draws me in because that's kind of the way I live my life too. But he's definitely my main motivation for all of that.
Yeah. Well, as you brought that up right now, let's just talk about this. You have a new venture right now. Like it's just coming out and this is your time to spill on it because you might have a 43-year-old fat guy signing up because I'm excited for it.
Yes. So I'm opening up my own business. It's called Train Like a Bombshell. It's all online coaching. I'm actually going to start with just fitness coaching. So it's just going to be nutrition plans and workout plans. And I'll have my own fitness app. It's anything to do with fitness coaching. That's what I'm going to start with. Eventually, I do want to do life coaching and be a mentor, but it's kind of like one stepping stone at a time right now to get everything open and get it moving.
So you brought up one thing that I'm going to have to go like, the nutrition plan is the worst thing. We really have this love together for one thing, and my wife hates it because I can eat them every day. We both have the same shirt. You look so much better in it than I do with, just the white underwear. I never posted that picture of me, by the way.
You probably should.
I probably should not. Tacos. I could literally live off of tacos because there's so much you can do with them.
Yeah, I do love me some tacos. Tacos and pizza are my main bad foods.
I don't know if you have a bad food, Dani. Do you really? I mean, you eat correct.
Here's the thing, you know how my brain works? It's so crazy because it doesn't work the same as everybody else's apparently, but I'm like, okay, if I eat 4 pieces of pizza, I could do 100 burpees, and I'm sure that would just somehow coincide with it all working out somehow. So I don't eat whatever I want. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm eating, I eat whatever I want. I don't. I do eat very clean on a normal basis. However, I do love to joke about it because I'm really just a fat kid at heart, and it is what it is. I love food so much. No matter what, my main thing is if somebody asks me to go out to eat, I'm like, yes, of course I want to go out to eat. It's food. So
beer and wings. Let's go.
Yeah, that was always my weakness with all of even the fitness stuff. It was always the nutrition and the food. So.
But you do, like you said, you do your 100 burpees in front of your fireplace, which is on 900 degrees, because you see that you do the work. My burpees are on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 4 or something like that, because I'm like, all right, Dani's doing it for me tonight.
Yeah.
So that's why I need guidance.
Watch those videos. Yeah.
What other guilty pleasures do you have? And then I have some IWC questions for you as well coming up. But what other guilty pleasures do you have? I know you guys like to travel. Are you video game nerds? What else do you get into that we don't know about?
So I'm a big superheroes nerd. I love Avengers, Marvel, anything to do with that. Disney, because that's just what I grew up watching. So I'm a big Disney Plus fan. And the kids love that. And my younger son's at that age where he watches all of that still. So that's really cool. And I get to like pretend like they want to watch it, but really I want to watch it, you know? And then fishing has been our main thing now. Like, I'm like obsessed with fishing. My kid has a fishing app on his phone, and he'll be like, Mom, it's this, you know, this was a recent catch yesterday. Let's go. And we'll literally drive 2 hours to go to that same spot that somebody caught like this huge fish at the day before.
So you're into ice fishing right now because, come on, it's freezing in Pennsylvania.
So the thing is, we haven't gone ice fishing. He's trying to convince me to do that. We've had a fairly nice winter. I think since the last snowfall, that big one that we just had like 2 weeks ago, we haven't fished at all. And I think, honestly, I'm trying to hold off now until the spring when it gets nicer. We did get all new fishing stuff for Christmas, so they're like dying to use it. So unless we're traveling to like Florida or something like that, I think I'm going to try to hold off until spring. I do not like the cold at all. So
I was just going to invite you up to El County because we're below 10 degrees today. So I know our reservoirs froze over.
Oh my.
So you guys are welcome to come up and we'll give you the ice fishing trip that you guys need because.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we talked about you in Flawless, and you had your first match in IWC, and then you've taken a year off. Do we see you resurge in IWC, or are you just, and I hate to say it this way, are you just a trainee that came through Iron City and have parted ways? What's going on with IWC?
So, January, I took the whole month off, and that was just to open my business. I had to get everything together with that, and wrestling, again, is something I really enjoy doing, but it's not my main focus at all times. Like the kids, my job, that all has to come first. So I took January off. February, I am planning to come back to IWC. I am coming to help some friends make sure that nothing goes wrong in their match. Johnny Patch and Jace Carr.
Oh!
So you will see me February 20th at IWC.
Kickoff! We just got a huge announcement that Dani Grey is returning. I could see you crossing because I know the match that's gonna happen. I know that you're gonna probably have a run-in with somebody then who huge fan of the show. We love her too, but she's just pretty dastardly, and I'm talking about the dime piece. Is that your main goal?
Yeah, we got to make sure that she doesn't mess anything up for my boys. So,
wow, American Bombshell, Dani Grey coming back to IWC at Kickoff, and Dani, that's huge news. That's huge. It
was always a goal to come back locally because that is where I trained and where I wanted to be. And then I also do love to travel. So I'm planning to go and take bookings everywhere and anywhere else possible. But my goal was always to come back to IWC. The fans here and everyone that's reached out to me since I haven't been around, it's going to be so awesome being back in that ring.
Are the boys coming?
So I'm trying to figure that out, but it is a weekend that I have the boys. So that is something I'm really excited about because I do try to bring them with me when I travel. So I was down at Kapow in Tennessee, and I did bring my older son. But with all the restrictions with COVID and everything going on, there was rules about leaving the state and school and all of that. So
Tell me about
my younger son hasn't been to a match. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that we're all going to be there.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to hear that you're coming back.
Yay.
So you brought up that you want to travel. Let's talk about your travel goals. One, personally, and then two, wrestling-wise. Where do you want to take the guys? God, I'm making them teenagers. Where do you want to take the boys in the next couple years? Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I know.
So definite just travel goal. I want to take them deep sea fishing. So somewhere down in like the Gulf or Florida-ish area, I want to do like a big trip for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off this summer. I'm hoping to, but we'll see. We'll see what the business looks like at that time. The cool thing about me doing my business all online is that I can kind of work from anywhere. It's just I need to make sure all of that's set in place before I start making plans like that.
Right.
So, I mean, there's definitely goals of where I want to be and when I want to do it. So if I can get to those by that time, I really, really want to go deep sea fishing.
This is absolutely crazy how deep you guys are into fishing. Like you said last year, you just started. You fished as a child, right? Did you?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if I set my mind to something, I need to be the best at it. So, like, I literally will read articles and watch like fishing TV shows. Like, if I don't know how to do something, just so I know, because it was so funny. The first time we caught a catfish up in Erie, I didn't even know how to hold it. And then it was at that point, I actually got cut from the top fin because they're sharp.
Right.
And so like after that day, I was like, oh shit, if I'm going to do this, I better learn how to do it just like anything else in my life. So yeah, I'm real into it. I mean, anything that they love, I like learn to love as well. So
you go from buying a fish at Walmart to now you want to kill Jaws, you know?
Yeah, I honestly, that's kind of the goal. The kids, my older son, Braden, he wants to actually catch fish and then cook them. He wants to like gut them out and learn how to cook them and everything. Cause I cook my meals fresh every week, but I love cooking. So that's kind of like one of the things we want to do this summer is go catch our own fish and then cook them. So
how about noodling? I'm sure you know. Are you guys going to noodle? Because that scares the hell out of me.
So here's the thing. I did watch a show that they caught like 100-pound blue catfish doing that, and it looks so awesome.
It
but
does.
I think that would scare the hell out of me too.
Because there's other things down there that could bite you as you're just sticking your hand in a hole.
Yeah. But it does look really awesome.
You're going to end up trying it. I know you are. I know you are. You're crazy.
You're going to see me I'm only 5'2", maybe like 115 pounds, soaking wet on a good day. But I'll be tackling a 100-pound fish.
You are batshit crazy, and I love you for that. Wrestling goals now. So let's put this out for 5 years. I mean, first, where do you want to go? Overseas? Do you want to stay stateside for a while? What's going on?
So wrestling is kind of like another outlet for me that not only do I love being in the ring, but I also kind of use it as a tool for other goals that I have that I want to accomplish in my life. I definitely want to travel. I don't know about going out of the country or not, but I definitely just want to travel. I think down in North Carolina in March, I'll be going down to Jewels of Wrestling. I wanted to actually go to their last event, and it didn't work out with the COVID restrictions for traveling with my job in January. So March is their next date. So I'm hoping to get down to book me. I'm all for it. I'm not like putting any restrictions on traveling for wrestling. I want to be wherever, whenever, and I want as many people to see me as possible. My main goal for all of that, though, is I just want to inspire as many people as possible with my entire journey. So main goals for all of that after wrestling, even during wrestling, is I actually wanted to go into schools and have like anti-bullying seminars and just be like a motivational speaker for kids. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, that was kind of set back because I was planning to do that this year. And that just, it obviously pushed it back. It doesn't allow me. I kind of can't go into schools right now. So, but that's actually the main goal. And the cool thing about wrestling and kids is like the whole connection with all of that is it just kind of gives you a bigger voice in a child because they look up to you.
You're a superhero.
So it's just like, I don't know, it's like bittersweet. Like, I love my kids and I know that I do the best I can with them, but it's so important because some kids don't have that person in their life that they can go to and talk to about those kind of things. And I want to be that person.
That's amazing. The more I sit here, I made you smile at the beginning, and you're making me smile now because I have a feeling like Ethan could call you and say, "Hey, Dani, my dad's being a giant douchebag to me today. Can you talk to me?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, let's talk, little buddy." And
I don't know. I might just tell him to RKO out of nowhere.
And that has happened. That has happened.
Yeah.
Oh, you just blew my mind on that. I forgot where I was going. I see you in like Goddess of War. You know, it's in New Jersey. That's someplace. Have you reached out to them?
You know what? They just commented on one of my posts recently, and they said Goddess 2021, and I love that idea. So there's a lot of promotions I'm looking into that I want to be a part of. That is definitely one of them.
Nice. That's because I was going to hook you up with a couple names that I had if you didn't reach out to them, because you would fit in there perfectly.
Yeah.
You guys said you watch AEW and everything. Is it a must watch? I know you said the boys are on and off, but is it a must watch? How much wrestling do you spend time watching? And you're ripping it apart, and the boys are just enjoying it.
Yeah, honestly, I just watch it kind of as a tape study at this point. I don't really watch it for any other reason. I used to watch it for fun, and like I was involved in the storylines, and I wanted to see what was happening every week. Now I kind of just watch it as, oh, that's a really cool move. I want to try that. And the boys, they do not follow it on a week-to-week basis right now. A couple months ago, I'd say they did. And again, with the pandemic going on and not being able to actually go to events, I think that kind of pulls their focus away from it. Just the ages that they're at. They can watch it on TV, but it's always excited. Like, we go anytime it's in Pittsburgh. So for them, or honestly anywhere in Pennsylvania. So for them to not have the, oh, let's watch this a couple weeks. Hey, they're in Pennsylvania in 2 weeks. We're going to the show. We get to know what's going on. So for them not to have that right now, I think it kind of pulls their focus away from it a little bit.
And I think that's a lot of wrestling fans across the board. The live events or being the lack of, audience at live events. Let's talk about court time sports. The plumbers are, not the plumbers are only allowing, the state's only allowing 10%. You get 1,000 people in there, and now you can only have 100. I feel bad for you guys. And essentially, to make the 3-hour trip down and then a 3-hour trip back for that, that's why IWC Network $9.99. Go there and watch it, right?
Yeah, and it's really cool that we're living in this, social media and online and all of that is like so big now. Just imagine if it wasn't. What if this happened 10 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, there really wouldn't be too much wrestling. And it's nice that the independents can still be online and have those channels where you can just subscribe and watch online, because I know and it's not even just the capacity limits. I think it's a lot of people are still afraid to be out. And, one way or the other, I'm not judging anybody for feeling one type of way or the other. And, that's their decision. But it just takes away from stuff that we love. So if, you love going to wrestling, at least you can still have the option to watch it online. So.
Right. Royal, guys, we're recording this early. I'm not breaking any fourth wall. Royal Rumble's tomorrow, Dani, and I know you brought the boys to one. Is this a must-watch WWE event for you and or the boys? Because it's my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
It is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. We actually the one that we went to was the one where Ronda Rousey came out at the end. Yep. That was her debut. So that was a really cool moment to be a part of and be there for. I don't think I've ever missed a Royal Rumble, with or without the kids. That is my favorite pay-per-view that they have all year.
Yeah, the surprises from back in the day you'd see the legends come down just to get thrown out was awesome too. I don't know if they can do that much this year, but it's still going to be great. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
So much to go. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? We talked about your goals, but where do you see yourself in 5 years? Still in wrestling or just completely blowing up the fitness area?
So I can always do both, fitness and wrestling. They both go very nice with each other. So I don't think I'd ever have to pick one or the other. Honestly, I think I always tell myself I give myself 2 years for something. So since I'm starting back up with wrestling now, I'll do this thing where I write all my goals down because my mentor for my actual fitness stuff told me if you have an idea, write it down and, you look at it every day and that's what you want to focus on. So what I do is I write my goals down and I look at them every day and then I pick a point where it's okay, well, if this isn't working, let's try something different. So I'm giving myself 2 years with wrestling and I'm going to reevaluate in 2 years and see where I'm at. I do have goals. I definitely want to be on TV. I honestly don't know if it's a goal of mine to get a contract or not. The cool thing about wrestling is you really don't have to know what you want to do with it. I know I want to travel. I know I would like to do something with TV. But I don't know if having a contract with wrestling is the best idea for my kids or not. So if I was ever offered that and I would get to that point, I would definitely consider it and, do the pros and cons of the situation. But I have so many other things that I want to do with my life. And like I said, it's not just about me and wrestling. It's about inspiring everybody else with everything that I've already been through. So wrestling is definitely something I love and enjoy doing. And there's definitely goals that I have set for it. It's just not everything that I want to do.
I love that. Again, there's going to be so much love in this, apparently, because your number one thing is always, and I know it's for a lot of people, but you make sure to tell people it's your boys, and you could be given millions of dollars, but you don't get those stupid, and I don't mean stupid, but I mean the stupid silliness of fishing this month, and then next month they're going to want to learn how to do this. Those are worth more than that $1 million. They really are. And that's kind of what my mom embedded into me as well. So, I love that.
Yeah, you can't get your time back. So time is what's most important. And if I'm spending time with the boys, I know that I'm happy and they're happy. And I know being under any kind of contract, not just with wrestling, it's you're stuck. You don't even own yourself. Yeah. You're they own you. So, I don't know if that's something that I would like or not. And when I get to that point, I guess I could decide, but it's not exactly a goal of mine to get to that point either, because I'm just kind of living every day. I just roll with it. I don't really even make plans. So it's just I wake up and I'm okay, what are we doing today? And same with wrestling bookings, the ones that I have and gotten and I've taken, they're all within a couple weeks. I only book right now. I'm only booking 2 months out, because I literally don't know where I'm going to be at 2 months from now. And that's just because everything is starting up and going on. And I don't like to make plans that far in advance because you never know.
Welcome to my life. Week at a time. You have to just take a week at a time. You mentioned that you've taken some though. Are there places that you're allowed telling us that you're going to be?
So right now I haven't taken any for sure bookings. I do want to go to Jewels of Wrestling, which I believe is March 21st down in North Carolina. So I'm hoping to set that date and that works out. Cause like I said, I was going to do that in January. It didn't work out with COVID. So again, with the pandemic going on, it's kind of almost impossible to make plans that far out, because we don't know what's going to be happening at that time.
Right.
So that's definitely a set one in March, as long as nothing changes with the pandemic. And then IWC, I'll be February 20th, and I'm hoping to be at IWC monthly again. That's the goal. So we'll see. That I want that to take priority over everything, not just because that's where I train, but because it's local. It just makes it so the boys can go no matter what, and that's obviously important to me. So.
Yeah, it's your home, right? It's your home. Everybody
it's
loves being home. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Two-part question, and let's see if it's the same. In wrestling, out of wrestling, whatever, who's given you the best advice, and what is it? You know, what have you learned that's now your life motto?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'd have to say it was James Grey. He was my fitness coach. And I mean, it's kind of just take it one day at a time. You know, you have to be consistent with everything. And he's the one that told me you don't make excuses for things, you just get it done. So I wake up, before I go to bed every night, I write a plan for myself for the whole next day. And me and my boyfriend actually do the same thing now, because he also works from home, and we try to set a day-to-day plan every night before we go to bed. We talk about what we're doing the next day. So we'll sit there and we'll say, okay, we need to do this, this, and this. We want to do this, this, and this. So I actually write a list down of everything that I'm going to do the next day. And then we'll see, so the need things always get done no matter what. I need to go grocery shopping because I have no groceries here. I need to prep my meals. I need to do this. I need to go to work. Okay, those things always get done. And then on the want side, you could do, I want to,
go
whatever.
Fishing. Yeah.
I want to go fishing. I want to, yeah. So it just depends. I have to prioritize my life. You can only do so much in one day. So, but I will tell you that my workouts, my, prepping my meals, taking care of the boys, those are all needs for me. Some people put the category of working out into their want. I want to work out today, but I don't know if I'll have time. That's a need for me. It needs to be a priority. And that's only because I know me, and I know that my mental health will not only my physical health, but my mental health will suffer if I do not have my fitness routine in place. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. It really is, just because you shut your mind off when you're working out, and you're focused on, your body, your mind, your soul even as well. Because do you put your meditation as a workout, or is that completely something different as well?
So I'm trying to work different angles with that right now. I have to find out what actually works for me, because I had a routine going where I was in God's word every day. I would wake up, read my Bible, have my cup of coffee, go to work, and do all those things. And that became a routine. And then, honestly, with the pandemic going on, I lived such a day-to-day life that it's so hard to just put everything into one day at this point. So it's honestly just whatever I can fit into that day. And meditation is more of definitely my fitness routine right now than anything else. And it's cool because I can do that. I can sit there and think about all the things going right or wrong with my day, or what I need to do tomorrow while I'm working out. It's not I just disappear and go nowhere. I do that's my alone time. I don't get much of that. So that's the time of day where I can sit there and think about everything that I want to do or don't do. And I can actually work on my fitness at the same time. So
nice. Advice now the other way, because I always like to put the spin on it. You have, we're going to take your boys out of it because they're family. You have this little Susie comes up in February at IWS, and she says, Danny, I love you. I want to be just like you when I grow up. What's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? What's the thing that you tell, and you would start your public speaking off with?
I would tell her that she can do anything she wants to if she puts her mind to it. because I'm just a normal person, just like everybody else there. And that's the main reason that I feel like I can inspire so many people, is because I literally started from the bottom and I worked my way up to where I am today. So if she wants to go and be me when she gets older, she can definitely do it. But she's going to be her own person, and she might be even better than me.
I don't feel enough people say that. I really don't. I think there's always somebody saying, go to school, make sure you get this, make sure you do that. It's not for everybody. School isn't everybody's, big dream. If they want to be a ditch digger their whole life, be the best. And I don't I'm a garbage man, so listen to me. If you want to be the best garbage man, be the best garbage man. If that's your dreams, live your life, right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I'm all for whatever makes you happy. Like, I'm not, just put my kids back into it. If my kids say they don't want to go to college, I'll just tell them, well, you better make sure that you're doing something that makes you happy, that you can support a family with. You know what I mean? If that's not what you want to do, I'm not going to force it on you. I personally didn't like school. I was good at school. I'm really good at math. I'm good at, I'm good at it, but I never did homework. It honestly just wasn't for me. My focus was always somewhere else.
Do you tell the boys that you don't do your homework?
Hell no, I don't. I didn't do my homework.
I did my homework every day. You lying sack of...
I mean, no, I don't lie about it either. I just don't tell them anything.
Oh, all right, touche. You win that battle. Tell everybody of your social media stuff coming up, and everything about your business. This is your run with whatever I forgot to bring up or anything. Just give it all out for people can follow you, subscribe, and all that business.
Okay, so my Instagram names are @trainlikeabombshell for my business page, and @the American Bombshell to follow me on Instagram. Twitter, I don't use that often. It's Dani Grey honestly, Twitter is like one of those things you have to consistently use throughout the day. And, I don't have time for it. I want to try once I'm doing all online for my business to use all those tools. Right now, I just don't have time for it, but it is, my Twitter is @DaniGrey_fit. And then my main source of social media is always my Facebook, and you can just look me up under Dani Grey. And my personal page is the one that I have an athlete page and my personal page, but the personal page is what everybody follows. I honestly use Facebook as a blog for my daily life. So anything I'm doing day to day and, writing my storybook of inspiring words for the day to help somebody out, that's all on Facebook.
Yeah, you see her driving 900 miles an hour down the road. You see her pop up and start singing you a song. Maybe not 900, but, pop up and sing you a song.
I drive like a grandma.
Okay. You're one of those ones that, no.
I totally am a safe driver.
Good. At least you better be. Finally, then, because we always end with this, as I know wrestling a goal, but maybe not a major goal, whatever, however we put that earlier, you could pick your dream match against anybody ever. Here's the stipulations. I want to know who it is, where it is, and then what's the match stipulation. Can you get all of them? Because Bulk Nasty didn't get it right. Calvin just hung up on me. People like that just piss me off. No.
Wait, okay, so hold on. Say it again. My dream match.
Who it's against, what's the stipulation of the match, and where is it going to be?
Wow. So I did go to SummerSlam in New York City. So with the where, I would definitely want it to be Madison Square Garden.
Clearly, right.
I mean, that would definitely be a dream right there. Wow. I honestly never thought about this question. If I had to pick, just watching wrestling throughout my whole life and who I would want it to be against, I honestly think I would say Nikki Bella.
Wow.
And Yeah, because honestly, like, that was just kind of like who I kind of got like both of them, Brie and Nikki, but that's kind of like just where I got hey, I could do this, like it was, I think it was like the sister thing. But yeah, I think it would be against Nikki Bella, Madison Square Garden, and stipulation would obviously be for not, like, her sister would be banned from ringside.
Good.
Yeah, and it obviously would have to be a title match, right?
Right, it should be, yeah. Do you want to go with the new title, or do you want to go back and get the Divas title?
No, definitely new title. Evolution.
Oh.
Women's Evolution.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dani, this was great. I'm sure we will talk again real soon. Maybe if something funny goes on at IWC, we'll have to talk there, bring you and Julia on, or the Dime Pieces, everybody knows her, to iron out your differences. Maybe have something going on there, but we're going to be following you again because we're glad you're home. We really are. We love to see you go and, brighten your horizons, but to know that you're back in IWC, the kids are happy, including yours.
Yay.
So,
I know.
Dani,
thank you.
It's been great. And hopefully, if I talk to Plummer, we'll see you in February, if not for sure in March.
Okay. Sounds good.
If that interview didn't put a smile on your face, climb out from underneath your rock. Man, the bubbliness, the everything. And again, I'm going to step back. What she does for her boys. Guys, once you go and like her, follow her, subscribe to everything she does on social media, you see the love of the boys. And this is the dad moment in me. This is, the parent just seeing her love for her boys, and you heard it in the interview. It's unbelievable. It really is. She'll move heaven and earth for her boys, and I know a lot of us say it, but she shows it. She really does, and that tugs at my heartstrings. And as you heard at the very beginning, if you're, spiritual like I am, and she does her inspirations on Sundays, and, she'll throw them in there other days too, but the Sunday one really hits home as we were talking. It just, Dani's awesome. It really is. And, all jokes aside, I've joked with other people on that they're going to help, get me back in shape or this, that, or the other. Dani has. Dani has, and she doesn't know it. Clearing my mind and this and that. So Dani gets everything going with that life coach thing. I'm going to sign up. I want to stay connected with Dani Grey as much as I can. Damn it, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see her return to IWC. You hear how excited I am. I love the dime piece, don't get me wrong. But Dani Grey and tacos and wrestling, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Guys, you find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at CanCrusher69. Go ahead and give Dani follows as she gave us her social medias. Make sure you follow her new venture. If you're looking for somebody, you really are, to train with, and you use an app and everything, I'm telling you, Dani's going to be it. Dani's going to push you, but Dani's going to make you feel good pushing you too. So I can't wait. I really cannot wait till this is set up and going. Dani Grey coming back to IWC. I'm super pumped. Guys, make sure you sign up for IWC Wrestling, IWCWrestling.com. Only $9.99 a month. You get all their monthly stuff. You get stuff all the way back. I believe it's 2012 now. And you get to see the likes of Wardlow, Britt Baker, Ray Lynn, Dan Hooven, CM Punk's on there, John McChesney. The list can go on and on of wrestlers that have, Elias, come on, I'm just going to keep naming people. But IWC Network for $9.99 a month, you get to see premium wrestling from Pittsburgh. Hell, in the whole East Coast, they rock. And Dani Grey is a part of it. Once again, Dani, thank you for joining Can Crushers. Thank you for being, as of right now, my non-paid life coach. I love you. Guys, remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.